Hello my friends, it's Danny, and today I am sharing 10 clean and delicious kitchen staples. Now these are foods that you will almost always find in our kitchen. And for those of you who have been watching since the new year, you know that we recently kicked off a new meal prep series called 6 to Start, where we take a very easy, flexible, family-friendly approach to meal prep. So I wanted to show you some of the other staples that we keep on hand to help make very simple, clean and delicious meals throughout the week. And what I really want you to see is how a lot of these staples play off of each other to make very easy, very delicious meals that can also be very budget friendly. So let's start with something that I always have in my house, and that is a loaf of sprouted bread. I'm a big fan of the Food for Life brand. I buy the Ezekiel sesame, and I also really like their raisin bread, but there's a lot of good brands out there. What you do want to keep in mind that oftentimes the sprouted breads will be in the freezer section at your grocery store. So if you're shopping for them and you don't see them by the other breads, make sure to check out the freezer section. What I really love about the sprouted breads is that they're a lot heartier than a traditional whole wheat bread, and so they keep me satisfied a lot longer, and they're also very satisfying to eat. I love to turn to this bread for super simple meals during the week. One of my go-tos is to pop it in the toaster and then just spread some almond butter over the top. Sometimes I'll add some strawberries. Sometimes I'll do sliced banana with a sprinkle of cacao nibs. And another family favorite is we will make a really simple garlic bread. I'll just pop it in the toaster, and then when it comes out and it's nice and hot, I just rub a garlic clove right over the top of the bread, drizzle it with a really good olive oil, sprinkle it with some kosher sea salt, and it is delicious. It's especially nice if you're having some chili or some soup and you just want like a little something on the side. Another clean and delicious staple that we always have on hand are nut butters. Almond butter, peanut butter, cashew butter, sunflower seed butter, you name it, I love them all. Now I do look for all natural nut butters, so you want to make sure that when you read the ingredients that all you see there is the type of nut and then possibly some salt if you're buying a salted variety. There's really no need for any added oils or any added sugars, and they don't taste as good that way. So look for the natural nut butter, and then you're going to see that when you open it up, all of the oil pools to the top. So all you want to do is give that a good stir until you've got it all incorporated, and then you want to store them in the refrigerator. Now nut butters can obviously just be enjoyed as is right off the spoon, but they're also absolutely delicious if you spread them on top of some toast like we did before. You could do a little fruit on top of that. You could serve them on the side of some apples and cinnamon. That's a great snack for kids when they come home from school. Another favorite way to enjoy it is on top of oatmeal or mixed into a smoothie or on the side of a smoothie. And I use it a lot for baked goods as well, especially if you want to do like a gluten-free baked good. One of my favorite recipes that I have are my baked chocolate chunk cookies and my gluten-free brownies. Both use nut butter right at the base. Okay, so the third healthy option I always have on hand are eggs. They are so versatile. There's so many different things you can do with them, and lucky for me, everybody in my house enjoys them. Now, whenever I buy eggs, I try to buy organic pastured eggs. This means that the chickens are eating their natural diet, and that is reflected in the color of the yolks. They are such a rich, deep orange hue. They're absolutely beautiful. So not only are they more nutritious, they are definitely more delicious. With that being said, they are definitely a bit pricey. They tend to be about $6.99 a pound. So if it fits in your budget, great, give them a try. If not, no worries, just stick with whatever eggs you're using. I love having them in the fridge ready to go for super simple meals like egg salad. We slice them up and we put them on top of toast. I also love to make a really simple salad with hard-boiled eggs, chopped up avocados, and tomatoes. So simple, you give it a little olive oil, some salt, absolutely delicious. And you can of course also use them for making omelets, for making scrambles, or for making egg muffins. So many egg options. And I'm also a huge fan of egg whites, so I usually keep both on hand. I just love the taste and the flavor of them, so it's just a mood thing around here. The next staple on my list is organic Greek yogurt. This is another protein-rich snack that can also easily be turned into a mini meal that we always have on hand. Now, sometimes I'll do the low-fat varieties, sometimes I'll do the full-fat varieties. It just depends how I'm going to enjoy them. If I'm gonna keep it really simple and just top with some fresh berries, I'll usually have the full-fat. If I wanna add a lot of my own toppings like nuts and seeds and nut butters, then I'll do the lower fat so I can add my own fats. You see how I think about that? And another idea, which I know probably sounds strange, but is absolutely delicious, is if I have leftover sweet potatoes in the fridge, I will chop them up add them to the Greek yogurt with some chopped up pecans or walnuts and some cinnamon, and it is so delicious. It's kind of like eating sweet potato pie, and it's such a rib sticker. And also remember that Greek yogurt can be a great substitution for sour cream. So maybe you want to use it as a dip for some veggies, or you want to put it on top of some chili or on top of your tacos, or perhaps you want to make some mini cheesecakes with it. All of these places would be a great way to work some Greek yogurt into the kitchen. The fifth staple we always have on hand are pre-washed greens, and 99% of the time for myself, this means a big old bin of pre-washed baby spinach. If it's in there washed and ready to go, I'm just a lot more likely to get it onto my plate. And because dark leafy greens are the #1 food missing from the American diet, I'm always trying to find fun, creative ways to work greens onto our plate. One of the easiest ways to do this is to make a smoothie or a protein shake. Baby spinach is a great beginner green because it's very mild and it's very sweet. If you have anybody in your house who gets freaked out by their smoothie being the color green, just add a tablespoon or so of unsweetened cocoa powder into the mix, and then it'll look like a chocolate smoothie and you won't even know that there's greens in there. One of our personal favorites, and it is a classic, is to get some frozen banana into the blender along with a handful of baby spinach, a scoop of vanilla protein powder, a little scoop of peanut butter, you could also do almond butter, and then some milk or almond milk, and blend it up. This flavor combo will never let you down. It's so simple and so delicious. I also love to chop up some baby spinach and add it to chilies or to some soups. Even if I'm making some canned soup, I'll get it in the pot, heat it up, and then add some fresh chopped spinach right at the end. Just gives a little life to the soup and is a great way to get your greens in. You could also add it on top of sandwiches, in your wraps, and another really easy way to work it onto your plate is if you're making a chicken salad or a tuna salad, when you're chopping up all your veggies to mix in, take a big handful of the baby spinach and chop that up as well. Not only is it absolutely beautiful, but it really is delicious. Another budget-friendly, super delicious meal prep staple is oatmeal. We always keep oatmeal in the pantry. I usually keep a combination of steel-cut oats and good old-fashioned rolled oats. Oatmeal is such a delicious, warm, nourishing breakfast, especially in the colder months. I've shared with you guys before our go-to recipe when I wake up and we're just kind of in a hurry. I will take the rolled oats and I'll combine a half a cup of oats with 1 cup of water, pop that in the microwave for about a minute, pull it out, and then I add about 1/3 of a cup of egg whites. Slowly mix that together, so you're tempering it a bit, and add it back into the microwave for another minute, and you're gonna see when it comes out, it turns into this rich, creamy, almost souffle-like oatmeal. It is absolutely delicious, and then from there you can of course add any of your favorite toppings. But having an oatmeal on hand, it's also great for a lot of baked goods. You can grind it up and make oat flour, which you can include in your meatballs or some of your recipes. And I also use it in a lot of my energy balls as well. So lots of options with the oats, and if you have them in your pantry, you'll always have a quick, delicious meal ready to go. Number 7, a staple we almost always have on hand are avocados. And I think my admiration of avocados comes from the 12 years that I lived in California. They are such a simple, delicious, rich, buttery fruit that really can be enjoyed just as is. We love to just cut them in half, pull the pit out, put some kosher sea salt right over the top, and serve it with a spoon. So insanely delicious. Both of my kids will eat that as is. Another thing I like to do is just chop up some avocado and serve it on the side of eggs, or we'll mash it up and put it on toast like I showed you guys earlier. It's obviously delicious on top of soups or chilies. And another thing I'll do is what I like to call avocado mash. It's not quite guacamole. I'll just mash up an avocado with 1 or 2 cloves of crushed garlic, a squish of lime juice, and a pinch of kosher sea salt, and that's it. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. It's delicious with some fresh veggies. You could pile this on top of a sandwich. You could serve it with some corn chips. So many options. And before we leave the avocados, I know I have shared this in the past, but maybe some of our newer viewers have never heard it. One of my favorite sandwiches, 3 ingredients. You take the Ezekiel, the sprouted raisin bread, layer on some mashed avocado with a sprinkle of sea salt, and then pile on a little bit of roasted turkey. So simple and so delicious because you're getting the sweet and the savory and the rich buttery avocado all in one bite. It's like a little party in your mouth. Number 8, fresh fruit. Now, I know that one can seem a little bit obvious, but sometimes we tend to overlook the obvious. I notice this a lot when it comes to healthy eating. Sometimes because there's so much information out there, we can make things a lot more complicated than they need to be, right? So some of the fruits that we always have on hand are apples, bananas, and fresh berries. The apples and the bananas are great grab and go snacks. When you need something on the run, you could grab either of those with a handful of nuts and you are good to go. I personally think that an apple or banana with some fresh nuts is always going to be a better option than, say, a processed protein bar. And I know sometimes it's very easy because there's so much information out there that we think, oh, well, if the bar has more protein, then that is better for us. But remember that real food is always going to be best. And that doesn't mean that protein bars don't have their place. They absolutely do. But if you've got the option, you really can grab and go fresh whole foods like this. We also love the apples and the bananas with oatmeal, or one of our go-to favorite after-school snacks is I will slice up a banana. You want it to be a little on the thicker side, and then top each slice with 1 or 2 chocolate chips. Pop it in the microwave for like 10-15 seconds, just long enough that the banana warms up a bit, and you'll see when you touch the chocolate chip, it just kind of melts just the littlest bit. So simple, so delicious. If you wanted to take that to the next level, you can also do it with peanut butter. And then the berries, again, they are just delicious on their own. You can serve them as a side dish with breakfast, put them on top of your oatmeal, stir them into your yogurt. You can see how all of these staples kind of play off of each other to make very simple, very delicious, satisfying, nutritious meals. Number 9, another food staple we always have on hand is store-bought hummus. It is so delicious, it's rich in protein, and it comes in so many different flavors. We like to use it on sandwiches, on wraps, but I would say the way we use it the most is I'll make snack plates. So if my kids come home from school, again, they're usually really hungry, or even if my husband and I want something, instead of reaching for the snack drawer and pulling out a bunch of junk, not that we keep a bunch of junk in the house, but you know, we all have a little bit of junk in the house. What we'll do is we'll make a platter where we'll pull out some fresh veggies, we'll put some hummus on the plate, maybe cut up some apple, a few slices of a good grass-fed cheese, some olives, some pickles, and it is so delicious. It's fun to eat because it's like snacky, and it's a plate of real whole foods, which always makes this mom feel very happy. And the final staple that we always have on hand are nuts, seeds, and dried fruits. So it's kind of like a triple whammy. I kind of squished 3 into 1 there, but they're all in the same family. I love having this on hand, again, because it's real whole food and it's so satisfying. The thing with the dried fruits and the nuts is that they're very rich in energy, meaning it doesn't take much to satisfy you. So it's really great when you're like on the go, right? So just like we said earlier, you can have an apple with some nuts in your hand. You could also take some dried apricots or some figs and then pair that with some walnuts or some almonds, and you're running out the door and you're ready to go. All of these ingredients are also great chopped up and put on top of oatmeal, or put on top of your yogurt, or put onto a snack plate. I know here in our house, one of my husband's favorite little habits is when he's done eating a meal, if he wants something sweet, instead of turning to like a cookie or a cake or something of that nature, he always takes a couple of dates and he eats those after he's done eating, and it totally curbs his sweet tooth. Me, on the other hand, I like to take the date and pile peanut butter over the top of it. That's what it takes to curb my sweet tooth. And one last thing, if you like fig Newtons, dried figs are absolutely unbelievable. They always make me think of a fig Newton. They're so simple, so delicious, highly recommended. So that is it, my friends. 10 healthy staples that you will almost always find in our clean and delicious kitchen. And now I am, of course, so curious to know, what are some of the foods that you always have on hand and how do you like to use them? Come on down to the comments below and please do share. And if you haven't already, it would mean the world to me if you would subscribe, like, and share this video with anybody else you know who wants to make healthy eating easy. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Dani Spies, and I'll see you back here next time with some more clean and deliciousness. Cheers!